Everybody go tapping with the pot with Tigmatic.
Y'all tune into the Pop Podcast. And guess what? There's an
episode of and you are tuned into the Pot Podcast.
With the Pot Podcast with my boy Tigmatic. You hear me? It's going down.
To follow the Pot Podcast with Tigmatic.
That's that number one.
That's that number one.
About 1:15 p.m., Southeast Patrol officers responded to the 100 block of Manchester Avenue for a robbery that just occurred. When they arrived, they found a male suffering gunshot wounds, and that male was then transported to the hospital.
I done made it out the struggle, I done made it out of my streets. I had days I seen brains on the concrete. I had days I came out and wasn't trying to speak. I had pain that remains under my feet. I had the rain switching lanes, old body. See me with her, ask me if I hit her, it's a probably. Catch a girl, freak 'em, used to hit 'em in the alley. Biggest in the room, you ain't even in the lobby. Back streets raised me, I'm a backstreet baby. I got that roll call with the street lights, niggas played me. I got niggas think I'm crazy, I got bitches think I'm wavy. I got mom dukes looking at me saying I got lazy. I got shit I gotta do, and there's ones I gotta do it for. I gotta make shit safe around the corner store. I gotta make shit straight for the young boys. Keep them out the streets and out the reach of these dumb boys. Shit don't make sense, I'ma make moves. I'ma make hits like I'm Babe Ruth. We gon' take your chick out the Chris roof. I mean roof Chris, eat the cake too. This for all my brothers in them state boots. Miss you niggas, ain't no one that can replace you. To all the ones that's gonna feel like I done failed you. Survivor's guilt is real, that they when I tell you. I'm thankful, I thank every moment that I ever had with who ain't here. I pray to God daily that we make it through the years. Tell them man, I'm grateful, I'm great. I'm greater than the hate that I'm getting thrown in my ear. No matter what they say, I'ma make it up out of here. We made it out of where they say they never make it out of. It's homicides, the news ain't always gotta say about it. They taking souls until they souls is getting taken out of them. They pride is high, they say they'll do it, I don't even doubt them. Yeah, I try to stand, they thinking mine clear. Tell them my clearing, it still ain't no fearing. Yeah, you done, but you ain't out of it, ain't over. You the definition of a soldier. I'm thankful. I thank every moment that I ever had with who I am. I pray to God daily that we make it through the years. Tell him, man, I'm grateful. I'm great. I'm greater than the hate that I'm getting thrown in my ear. No matter what they say, I'ma make it up out of here.
We coming in from the door, man, on folks them. Y'all already know, cuz. Yeah, 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 hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, I rock all this white like I'm godly. Sushi gon' come with wasabi. Fresh off the steps of the porch. I walk out, get in a Porsche. Know that I'm using the force. Know that I mastered the course. Known as the plug and the source. Haters, they feeling remorse. This for my dogs in court. That's facing the judge and the jury. My brother, he made it in sports. And that's why he rock all that jewelry. She can remember me now. Know that my vision is blurry. I got these racks on me now. Know that the money done carry me. Know that I'm lit in my city. Know that I'm hot. Know that we poppin', man. Everybody chasing that cloud. Running their mouth. Know I really feed the game. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold up. We on the beaches and right off the coast. Down here in Florida, we doing the most. The hustle on South Beach just like a LeBron. You call it a pound and we call it a bomb. We at the lick and I'm working with chicken. Shout out my nigga from Memphis, they chicken. My dog and themselves know I know that they listening. Yeah, I'm on a new level just like I'm Hendrix. Straight from the gutter, we come from the trenches. We ball on these niggas, they sit on the bench. They using the style and I swear I ain't landing. We pushing the P and the P is for profit. They watching and listening, now look how they copy. They hate and respect it, but gotta acknowledge me. Know that a nigga be doing a lot. Know that I'm lit in my city. Know that I'm hot. Know that we poppin', man. Everybody chasing that cloud, running their mouth. Know I really feed the game.
Yo, what's up, y'all? You are now tuned into another episode of the Pot Podcast with Tigmatic. And as always, I'm here. I'm feeling great, and I hope you are too. Hey, listen, as always, this episode was brought to you by Hollywood TV, Hollywood Radio, Dollar Radio, Going In Radio, DemoniBrand.com, and NorthShadeDemoreBoutique.com. Hey, listen, today is a different type of episode, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm a little tongue twisted out here. Today is a different type of episode. You know, we're here to talk about a serious matter, and this is something that I do from time to time. Y'all know that. For those that watch, y'all know that. Black lives always matter to me. They always will, and that's something that I'm unapologetically me about. So today, I have my guest here. Her son was murdered, but it was ruled suicide, and the evidence definitely doesn't add up. Oh, also, Rat Patch, sponsor. Y'all see that there? All right, but back to it. You know, her son, you know, like I said, was murdered, but his death was ruled a suicide. And his mother is here to tell his story, because, she can do it. And it's only right that she does it. So it is my extreme pleasure to welcome my friend Tootie McGowan to the pod. Tootie, how you doing?
Fine. How are you, Tig?
I'm good. I'm good. Welcome to the pod. All right,
Thank you
hold
for
on. We got a
having
little
me.
bit of noise going on here. All right, that's a little better. I think that's on my end though. Let's see. There we go. All right. All right. You had the floor. Introduce yourself to the viewers.
Hey, my name is Tootie McGowan from Clinton, South Carolina. It's hard to talk. Okay. I'm gonna start just talking
Take your
about
time.
KJ. My son KJ was born May the 6th, 2003. When KJ entered this world, he was filled with love and he had a kind heart and he was so full of life. KJ loved to have fun. He loved being around his family and his friends, and he loved himself dearly. He wasn't the type of young man who would ever intentionally hurt himself. And he even didn't like getting a small cut on his hand, let alone them saying he committed suicide.
Right.
He was only 20 years old and had his whole life ahead of him. On December the 2nd, my world changed forever. That morning, KJ was found deceased inside his vehicle. What followed has been nothing but short of a nightmare, one filled with contradictions and unanswered questions, and also suspicious behavior. In the days leading up to KJ being found, there were already signs that something was wrong. KJ's ex-girlfriend started acting strange. She started immediately messaging his closest friends, asking if they'd seen him. She never reached out to me. She just started reaching out to all of his close friends. She told them she was the last person to have seen KJ, and she insisted on saying that the last day he was seen was November 29th. She kept repeating that date. And then something unsettling happened. On December the 1st, before I even had a chance to file a missing person report myself, his ex-girlfriend and her sister went and filed a missing person report. The two girls contacted KJ's so-called alleged father, whom he never had a relationship, 20 years of life, never had a relationship with him. They picked him up and went to the police station to do the missing person report. And I found that strange when I knew I didn't even know who the sister was. I never met her a day in my life. And the ex-girlfriend, she knew me and she knew my mother well, but yet never contacted neither of us. And then the sister went on social media and she made a post with KJ's picture on it, stating that he was missing and if anybody knew of his whereabouts to contact her. As a mother, I found all that extremely suspicious. Like I say, she never tried to contact me, the ex-girlfriend. And I'm here sitting thinking, okay, why are you acting so involved? And why are you insisting that you was the last person to see him? Why are you moving faster than me? You going out to do the missing person report before I could even get a chance to. None of it felt right. And then everything escalated. KJ was found deceased in his vehicle December the 2nd, 2023. The Lawrence County Sheriff Department originally had told me they believed KJ's death was a homicide, and they wanted to know who was the last person he was with. They was doing the so-called investigation. Well, an hour after talking to the investigator, he comes back to my home and he says, Miss Shelton, after I dropped, because at the time my name was Tootie Shelton, he comes and says, Miss Shelton, after I dropped you off at home, I returned to the crime. Now, make this, I want you all to, who's listening, put this in your head and think about it. Okay, I first initially started talking to the investigator at the sheriff's office. He was at the sheriff's office when I first saw him. He dropped me off at home. He said after he left my home, he returned to the crime scene and he removed KJ's body. And after removing KJ's body, he saw a casing underneath him. So you mean to tell me, excuse my language, Tig, but your raggedy ass was sitting up there at that sheriff office while my baby was over at that plant alone? And then you went, because it took an hour for me to talk to him and him to drop me off at home. Then you went back to where his body was. He was out there left alone. You decide to go back and remove his body, and you so-called saw a casing underneath his body.
Yeah.
He said after I spoke with his ex-girlfriend, after speaking with her and after removing his body, I'm sure he committed suicide. I said, that's a lie. I said, KJ would never hurt himself. I know this is a lot to take in. So I'm going to get back with you at a later date. I said, well, wait a minute. How did he die? What happened? Tell me. If you say he killed himself, how did he kill himself? I don't want to release that information right now. I'm going to get back with you. Well, an hour after he left my home, this audio recording started going around. It was a young lady on the audio recording. She stated the ex-girlfriend set KJ up. Soon as KJ got there, those boys beat him, they robbed him, and they shot him in the chest. I immediately called this lead investigator back. Hey, this is some valuable information. You need to hear this, and you need to hear this now. Well, Miss Shelton, I can't go off of that right now. That's hearsay. I don't want to hear that right now. Okay. I told you I'm going to get back with you, so just wait on me. So he got back with me. A week later, he calls me to the sheriff's department. We're all sitting at a round table, me, the investigator, the sheriff, and my brother, and 4 more deputies. He starts off by showing us 3 pictures. One picture was of KJ in the front seat. I would never forget this picture. That's the last picture I've seen of my child. He had KJ in the front seat. KJ was leaned forward. His head was touching the steering wheel. His seat was reclined all the way back to the passenger seat. This is the driver's seat KJ's sitting in. It's reclined all the way back to the passenger seat, touching the passenger seat. KJ is leaned forward. His right hand is between his leg. His right arm is between his leg, and his right hand is still on the trigger. The second picture he showed was a picture of a torso. I don't even know if it was my baby because he never showed his face. But he showed a picture of the torso with a single small gunshot wound in the center of the chest. The third picture he showed was a seat with a small bullet hole in the seat, and the seat was of a gray interior color. That was not my baby's seat. KJ's car interior color was a dark black. He then stated, Miss Shelton, you don't have to worry. He died instantly. And again, I spoke with the ex-girlfriend, and she confirmed that she broke up with KJ November the 29th. And KJ told her that he could not live without her. So she, not them, not the police office, not the deputy, not the lead investigator, but the ex-girlfriend was sure he killed himself at 8:00 p.m., November 29th. So I let him finish talking. I said, okay, I'm sorry. I said, okay. I called, I don't want to say no names on here. I'm sorry. I said, okay, are you finished talking? He said, yes, I'm done. I said, well, first of all, she has told you a whole complete lie. Because after you left my house and stated my child committed suicide, I started looking into things myself. The first thing I did was look on my camera footage to see exactly when KJ left my house. KJ left my house November the 30th at 5:01 a.m. I said, and then, too, how did this young lady on this audio recording know exactly where KJ was shot an hour after he was found deceased? This young lady put on this audio recording exactly where my baby was shot when you're just releasing it to me today, almost a week later. And third, I said, okay, in that picture you're showing of KJ, you said he died instantly. How can one shoot theirself with an AR-15 rifle, die instantly, jump forward, and position theirself in a perfect position like that, and put their hand on the trigger?
Yeah.
It's impossible. He then jumps up and says, we can't help you if you're withholding evidence. I said, how am I withholding evidence? You haven't been talking to me. You've been talking to the ex-girlfriend.
All right, so let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm still a little jaded out here. I don't know what's going on. Does that sound a little bit better?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like an echo behind me?
No.
I'm sorry, folks. I checked my audio earlier. We were fine before we went on the air. And now it's like this weird echo behind me. Trying to fix it. So bear with me, y'all. Right. All right. So my question is, let's take it back a bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about KJ. All right.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about everything that led up to his death. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to talk about his life. Let's talk about him a bit. So, talk about how loving and gentle KJ was. What were some moments or stories that show a side of him? Tell us a bit about him.
I'm going to tell you the story about KJ. KJ would give anybody the shirt off his back. He was so kind. He was so generous. This is one story I want to tell. When he passed away, I don't even want to call her name, but she was the mother of a friend of KJ. She came to my home the day he was found deceased.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen her before, but she came here and she said, hey, are you KJ's mom? I said, yes, ma'am, I am. She said, listen, I want to give you this. She had money in her hand. I said, why are you giving me so much money? She said, listen, KJ, I lost my job. She said, I lost my job three months ago. And I was sitting in my kitchen at my table and I was crying my heart out and praying to God. And I didn't know how I was going to make it the next month. She said, I didn't know where I was going to get any funds from to keep me and my kids afloat. She said, KJ happened to be listening to me. She said, he got up, he came in the kitchen and he said, Ma, I got you. You don't have to worry about anything. You're not going to lose anything. She told me my baby paid her rent for 3 whole months. She said KJ paid her car note for 3 whole months. KJ paid her utilities for 3 whole months. And she told me out there in my yard, she said, I want to give you this because I told KJ I was going to repay him, but I haven't had the chance to. And I looked at her in her eyes and I told her, listen, KJ gave you this from the bottom of his heart. I want you to keep this and keep striving and keep doing good for you and your kids. You don't owe me anything. That's the type of person my baby was.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's a kind-hearted soul.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. You know, they try to paint this picture that it was a suicide. You said that the girlfriend had said that he was suicidal.
Yeah, that's where they got it from. They said they talked to the ex-girlfriend and KJ told her he couldn't live without her. And that was a lie because he had like 5 different little girls he was fooling around with at the time of his death. So why would he kill himself over the ugliest one in the bunch? I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, I want to say my condolences to you on what you're going through. And I apologize that you're going through it. You know, because I can imagine how it is to lose a son. I lost a brother at a young age, and I just lost my mother 2 months ago. So my condolences to you on losing your child because it's nothing like that. Here's my question. What did life look like for your family before this happened?
Oh, it was wonderful. Everything was going right. You know, KJ was everybody's dad. He thought he was everybody's dad, you know, even because he was one of the oldest grandkids. They all looked up to KJ. Not only my four, but his cousins, his first cousins, all of them looked up to KJ. You know, everything was going fine. We was looking forward to Christmas. We was making plans, you know, everything was fine. They turned not only my life upside down, but the entire family.
Mm. Mm.
And my family, Tig, we're a close-knit family. My grandmama have like 17 children. When she passed, it's like 58, 68 grandkids. All of us are close like sisters and brothers.
So what was the mother-son relationship like?
Say that again, I didn't hear you.
What was your mother-son relationship like?
Oh, we was like mother, son, sister, brother, best friends. I mean, that was my ace. You know, there was somebody me and KJ could talk about anything. I had him at a young age. I was 19 when I had KJ. So we pretty much grew up together.
Yeah.
That was my right-hand man. Yep.
Oh man, I can imagine. Oh man, that's a hard thing to deal with, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, so you mentioned things begin to feel off, right? Before December 2nd.
Oh yeah.
When did you first feel something wasn't right?
I first felt it when his dad, Andre, called me on November the 30th. He called around 8 o'clock a.m. And Andre asked me, he said, "Hey, where's KJ? He's not answering his phone." I said, "Well, Andre, he might be back there in the room or whatever. He might be asleep." He said, "Nah, his phone is going straight to voicemail." And I said, "No, you're kidding, right? Because KJ phone never goes to voicemail. He has like 100 charges everywhere." So I'm like, let me get up and let me go check his bedroom. I go in his room. He has the game still plugged up and that headset beside his game. KJ was a gamer.
Okay.
He loved that PlayStation. Anytime he leaves it on, he's coming right back. He's not going to be gone for a long period of time when that game is still running.
Okay.
So I called his phone and it did go to voicemail, like Andre said. So I told Andre, I said, I said, maybe he just went and sneaked off for a little second. He's going to come right back. I said, let me keep trying to get in contact with him. Well, 2 hours passed. It's 10 o'clock a.m. No word, no nothing from KJ. That's when I absolutely knew something was wrong. So I contacted the city of Clinton Police Department, and they told me I had to wait 24 hours to do a missing person report.
Yeah.
Now, let me say this. When I called out there, it was an officer who said, "Hey, I just passed by his car." This is November the 30th. Now, I didn't know this till weeks later, though. But that officer said, "I just passed by KJ's car. I ran his tag. I was running late to work, so I didn't have time to get out to investigate the car. But I ran his tag. And the first sighting of KJ car was on November the 30th at 9:36 a.m. It was on the side of Tarleton Road, adjacent Brook Road." The officer went back the same day, November the 30th, at 4:36 p.m. And the car was gone. He called the highway patrolman and asked them, "Hey, have y'all seen that car? Did y'all get that car towed?" Highway patrolman said, "No, we never seen it."
So they never saw the car, but they got the call of a missing person.
They got the missing person the very next day. Well, I called that morning at 10.
Okay.
So I had to wait 24 hours to do a missing person report. But an officer saw his car that day when I called, November the 30th. But remind you, the ex-girlfriend said he killed himself on the 29th. So how can a dead person arise from the dead, go remove their car outside that road, and go back and redial all over again on November 29th. Make it make sense.
Yeah, I agree with you. Tisha Williams says, sounds like a setup or a cover up to me. KJ would never.
He would never.
You know,
everybody that knows him know KJ.
You know, this is why I wanted to cover this story in the first place. Because, oh my God, this audio sounds so choppy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This is why I wanted to talk about this, because I want to say thank you to Deanna Joseph, one of our Justice families, first of all, for introducing us. But I feel the same way this young lady feels. It sounds like a setup.
Yeah.
And something isn't right. So let me ask you, what made you first want to hire a private investigator?
The day of KJ's funeral. Well, leading up to his funeral, because I'm going to tell you this. I asked December the 2nd when he was found at the police station. I said, how do you know it's my child? How do you know that's my baby? I want to see KJ. Where is KJ? Listen, we don't want you to see him like that. I said, I don't care what you want. That's my baby. I want to see KJ. Where is KJ? Right now, we don't want to tell you that, Miss Shelton. Could we just take you home? I said, please, I'm begging you, can I please see my child? I wasn't able to see my baby. I wasn't able to identify my child. I was able to see KJ body when the funeral home had him ready for viewing for everybody in Lawrence County to see KJ. That's when I was able to see my baby. And they held him for 6 whole days. I didn't even know where he was at. That was all suspicious to me. And it just, I'm telling you, in my heart, I knew something went right. And I knew I had, because it's happened to so many people here in Lawrence County. I'm going ahead of myself, but Tig, it's happened to so many. A close family member of mine. His mother lives right down the street from me. Freddie Bird. It's happened to so many. Zay Hurley. So many.
Yes.
And we need a change here in Lawrence County. I'm so sorry. But it got to stop. When is it going to stop? How many lives we got to lose here before it stops?
That's right. So, you said his last moments was he was on the game and he left everything on. And that wasn't his MO, right?
No.
So,
and my mother overheard KJ that morning. She didn't tell me till later. She said, I heard him on the phone. He kept saying, listen, I'm coming. I'm coming. I said, well, why you didn't wake? She said, I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know who he was. But none of us was thinking that was going to be his last day. You know what I mean? Nobody. She wasn't thinking that.
So when did you get the call?
I never got a call, Tig. That's another thing that's crazy.
Really? So the police, no one never gave you a call that he was deceased?
Nobody called me. I woke up December the 2nd at 6 a.m. I looked at my mom. I said, something ain't right. This is not going right. I said, listen, they told me they saw his, because the police did call. I called out there Friday when my daughter, when my daughter saw that post that the girlfriend's sister had done saying KJ was missing. She put it all on social media and it went viral. KJ was missing, to contact her if anybody knew of his whereabouts. So my daughters contacted me. Mom, did you have this person to put KJ on Facebook? I said, no. KJ don't even like social media like that. Why would I put him on Facebook? I'm waiting on KJ to call me. My daughter said, well, Mom, somebody got him on Facebook and it's going viral. I immediately called the police. Without even seeing the post, I called the police. Something ain't right. I need to do the missing person report, and I need to do it now. And they told me, first the lady answered the phone. She said, first of all, he's not a baby. And second of all, do you even care about him? And I lost all control. Lord, forgive me, but I gave her a mouthful. And her supervisor called me back that night and apologized. And he said that KJ car was spotted on November the 30th on side of the road up near Tarleton Plant. He was gonna ride up there to see if KJ's car was still up there. But he called back and said it wasn't up there, so they don't know if that was him or not. So that next morning, December the 2nd, I woke up at 6:00 a.m. I told my mama, I said, something ain't right. I'm going to the police station so they could sit down and talk to me and see what's going on. Have they even been trying to look for KJ?
Yeah.
I got to the city of Clinton. He said, ma'am, this was around 7:00 a.m. He said, ma'am, they found this car. You need to go to the county. I said, okay. I drove up to the county and I called back and it wasn't no cars out there. I'm just sitting out there in my truck alone. I'm beating on windows. I'm beating on doors. Nobody's coming to the door. I sit out there for 1 hour and 30 minutes waiting on somebody to come outside. I finally called back to the city of Clinton. Hey, did you direct me to the right place? Because nobody's here. The officer said, yeah, they're in there. They're having a meeting. They finally come out after 1 hour and 30 minutes, the lead investigator. I say, hey, they told me you found this car. Where is it? You got him locked up or something? He said, no. I said, is he okay? He took his hat off. He said, no, he's not okay. He's deceased. And I lost all control. That's when he took me inside and he said that they was treating his death as a homicide.
So what was your emotional state when law enforcement went from homicide to suicide and under 1 hour?
I was pissed. And a mother knows their children's abilities. I know everything about all 6 of my kids. I know my baby, KJ, would never harm himself. I'm going to tell you a funny story about KJ. When COVID-19 hit, this boy walked in the house with about 10 stocking caps on, three ski masks on, about 20 pairs of gloves. Mama, I'm not getting sick. That's KJ, you know. He was a character. He was a clown. He loved himself so, though. He loved himself so he would never hurt himself. Never. And for them to sit there in my face and say suicide, I made them get out of my house and told them go do their damn jobs because they didn't have that right.
Yeah. So what did the investigators' behavior tell you about, them early on? Because for the lady to make the statement like, well, did you care about him was kind of crazy to begin with. And to me, it sounds like people were probably in on what went on, but they just don't want to say what they know.
Right. At first, though, Tig, after the apology for that, and okay, they led me to believe after that meeting, I would go back and say after that meeting, and I showed them the evidence I had to discredit the girlfriend story of him so-called killing himself on the 29th. And this is another thing. KJ car was spotted at the convenience store across from McDonald's by those 2 boys, I'm not going to mention their names, driving his car in the early morning hours of November the 30th. We told the police, me and my family told the police all of that. So when the chief of police jumped up at that meeting the day they showed us those photos and said, you got to trust in my investigators. Tootie, we're going to get to the bottom of this. They're going to find out who did this to KJ. So he gained my trust right then and there. I actually thought they was going to investigate and do their jobs.
Right.
But they wasn't. They told me they was waiting on SLED to do their investigation and they was going to get back with me. Well, a week passed by. I'm hearing nothing from nobody. No phone calls from the lead investigator. Nothing from SLED. I'm thinking SLED was going to contact me. So that's when something inside of me say something to you. Got to play hard. You got to go and get somebody that knows the law. You got to fight them. So I called a PI, and he said, "What you need to do is call SLED first and speak with the lead investigator over your child's case." So the day before KJ funeral, I called SLED and I asked to speak to the lead investigator. That lady on the phone said, "Listen, we have never investigated his case."
Wow.
The lead investigator is at Lawrence County Sheriff Department, and she gave me his name. And that was the man I had been talking to since day one, who lied to me in my face and said that SLED was investigating. She said,
never investigated.
SLED never investigated. She said, we may have been on the scene, but we never investigated.
Mm.
Yep.
Mm. You know, that sounds crazy to me.
Yeah.
You know, so how crucial is the officer's statement who saw KJ's car on November 30th after the claimed date of death?
It's very crucial. It's documented. It's on a police log. I got it all.
So when the audio recording went viral, right? Let's talk about this recording before I even ask my question about this.
Okay.
Tell the people about this audio recording.
That audio recording went out like 2 hours after KJ was found deceased. It was a young lady who stated KJ was set up by his ex-girlfriend, and she called the ex-girlfriend name. She said she called him out the house. As soon as KJ got there, those boys beat him and they robbed him and they shot him in the chest. She was dead on with where his gunshot wound was. And this before it was ever released out to me or anyone.
Mm. Mm. So, you know, to me, what this sounds like is not just the setup, but tampering with evidence as well.
Exactly. And he goes
because what they did was they placed him in the car after he was already gone.
Yep.
To make it seem like he self-inflicted himself.
Yep.
And no, that doesn't add up.
Yeah.
To go from homicide to suicide, it just doesn't add up.
None at all.
Yeah. So,
but it gets even crazier though, Tig. After I buried my child, I started going up to the sheriff's office. I started asking for his belongings. I started asking for KJ's car. The boy loved this car, so he would spend almost $200 a month to have it detailed.
Mm.
He would pay extra payments to try to get it paid off within a year or two. He put the surround system in his car that costed thousands of dollars. KJ loved that car. So I wanted to keep my child's car. I paid for KJ's cell phone. I went up to the sheriff's office. Listen, I want my child's car. I want his cell phone, in which I paid for. I got a phone call after I left the sheriff's office by the chief deputy who told me, listen, you can stop coming up here to the sheriff's office. You're not getting the car. Matter of fact, you're not getting nowhere near the car. Once we're done with that car, we're going to give it back to the finance company. And you'll never get that cell phone. It's in evidence and it's going to stay in evidence. But how? Tell me, how could you have it both ways? You rule suicide, that case is closed. There's no such thing as evidence. Everything's supposed to be released to the next of kin, and which is me. But he told me, if you want any of his clothing out of his car, you got to prove to me you're his mother. You got to go get a small estate affidavit.
Wow.
I went to try to get the small estate affidavit. I wasn't awarded that to 6 months later.
What's the reason they denied that?
The court was so backed up. So I had to wait until all the backup was done. And that was 6 months later. Mm-hmm. Nobody's never heard of such here.
Yeah, I never heard of such.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So when the recording went viral, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did law enforcement react?
They just told me it's hearsay. They can't act off of that. But from my understanding, that's how most cases start, from hearsay. You have that one person who start telling it, and you go from there. You go get that person. You interrogate that person to find out what is it what's all that they know.
Yeah, there's a trail of breadcrumbs that they should be following every piece from every story from every person.
And had gotten her and set her down, because the name she told me who told her what happened, that was their main man right there. The man who told her what happened to KJ was the one who KJ befriended. And I honest to God think he was the one who orchestrated the whole crime. KJ never hung with the other ones. He never was around the other ones. He was around that one.
Yeah. Yeah. This definitely sounds like a setup.
Oh yeah, it was.
And for those that are hearing the story, I know you feel the same way. And shout out to your support because they on here. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are real MVPs. Thank you for supporting Tootie. Real rap. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
You know, what has support been like?
When I tell you, Tig, the day he was found deceased, I was overwhelmed with how the city of Clinton showed up for my baby. They was here. They was here every single day up until I laid him to rest. They were here. Some people who, I probably ain't even talked to for a while. And shout out to my Witten Center crew. I last worked with them in 2003. Miss Debbie Burnside, Miss Ruby Dellinger, my co-workers from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
We were all like family. My co-workers from Eaton, Aisha Williams, Deanna, they were all here. You hear me?
Yeah.
All of KJ's friends. I'm trying to keep it together, y'all, but my family, I think all of them was here. Yep. And it showed me all of his classmates. Ayana, his cousin, they was all here. Rhonda Gary, they was all here. Yep. His aunt Shilder, they was here. Trail, they was here.
It's good to know that you had support.
There's so many names I can't name, but I love each and every one of y'all, and I thank y'all for being here for me. Rico Williams, I thank all of them. Tig, they was here. The city showed up for my baby.
That's awesome. That's awesome that you get that support because it's a tough thing to go through.
Oh yeah,
it's definitely a tough thing to go through, and I know that you're pushing through still.
Yeah.
20 years of life, memories.
Yeah.
And my heart goes out to you.
Thank you.
Tell other people why the color of the seat in these photos so significant. And I'm going to show some.
In
give me a second.
Picture with the photo of the seat, it was a small hole, and it was like in the center of the seat. And it was a gray interior. KJ's interior, like more of a darker color. This seat was a light gray interior they showed me. And the hole was so tiny in the center of the seat. And I'm like, no, this isn't KJ's seat. And also, where's the blood splatter on the back of the seat? You saying the exit wound was right here. What's the blood splatter on the back of the seat?
Yeah.
There was no blood on the back of the seat. The only visible blood was at the bottom of the seat where KJ butt was sitting. And the blood ran down his back and collected in that seat. But on the back of the seat, when I finally got, because first of all, they wouldn't let me he told me he wasn't going to let me get nowhere near the car. After I hired my private investigator, I got to my son's car. And I got to see the seat.
This is the photo of the seat, folks.
And you could see a swipe of blood like going over to the right side, like it's going over to the console, as if KJ was pushed over. And that hole you see, this is where they claim bullet exited his body near his left shoulder blade, which was also a lie. The bullet exited KJ's body on the left lower side of his back. And if you look in the seat, the left lower side of his back, where he was placed, you don't see a hole at all on the bottom of that seat.
You see blood there.
You just see blood. But he had an exit wound on the bottom left side of his seat, which would have been closer to that seat belt at the bottom.
And as y'all can see, that's the upper.
Right. That's the upper where they said it came out on his shoulder. That he had no exit wound up against his shoulder blade.
Yeah.
And if you look at that, that's where they claim that the bullet came out at. Where's the blood in there? That's the AR.
Where's the blood splatter?
Where's the blood splatter? It is none. Look at this. Look at the side of the seatbelt. It's no blood on that. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. This definitely doesn't add up.
None at all. And I'm sure the amount of blood he lost. He supposedly killed himself on the 29th. Which was a lie anyways. They say he killed himself on the 29th. He would have bled out profusely in that car. Where is all the blood at?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And what is this photo here? Explain this photo that I'm about to present.
That's his driver steering wheel. Where is the blood on the steering wheel? Absolutely none. There's no blood on his seat where his body was leaned over. His hand was in between his leg, right? Okay, he supposedly shot himself. He had a hole in his chest. He leaned over. Was the blood on that dang on seat right there? Was the blood on the floorboard? Nowhere.
Yeah, I agree. You know, this is what doesn't make sense for it to be labeled a homicide and then a suicide.
Right.
Now, I'm no professional. You know, I'm not a policeman or none of that. But I do know, and I'm a person who's been shot twice in life. I want to be clear on this. So I do know something. And that is, if you've been shot, there definitely will be some blood splattered across the regions of wherever you at. Exactly. So for the car to not have any, it doesn't make sense at all.
No.
It just doesn't add up.
No.
So to label this a suicide, first of all, with the weapon, it would have been a bigger hole in it.
Exactly.
So for them to say that, if you said he was shot in his lower left back, right?
No, it supposedly went in his chest and it came out. It went in his chest, in the center of his chest, and it came out the lower left of his back.
Right, the lower left back.
Yeah, close to his butt.
There should be an exit wound on the seat there as well.
Exactly, and there is not.
Right.
And then everything contradicts itself because the seat, when they showed me a picture of KJ, the seat was reclined all the way back. So think about it. He got this long AR-15 rifle. He supposedly held it up, shot himself in the chest. That gun wasn't gonna be positioned like that. He had died instantly. That gun was gonna either go sideways, left, somewhere, but not directly in between his leg with his right hand down. And I mean his right arm down in between his leg and his damn hand still placed on the trigger. Come on now.
So did they find the weapon?
It was with the picture they showed me. This is how it was. The gun was in between his leg. The base of the gun was on the floor. The muzzle of the gun was up by KJ's head, and his head was turned right towards the passenger side. And his hand was still on the trigger. Ain't no dang on way.
So they're basically just going off what the girlfriend said.
Yes. And if anybody had seen that picture they showed of KJ in that front seat like that, you could clearly see that was staged.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let me ask you. Once the car was finally released, what was discovered inside?
Once me and my private investigator finally got to the car, we discovered, okay, for one, this was a homicide because it was no blood splatter present nowhere in the car. And then two, we saw blood on the outside of the door frame. So how you saying he killed himself inside that car? But he got out and started bleeding outside and jumped back in?
Yeah. Yeah. You can't detest that one. You definitely can detest that, you know. There's no denying that. If it's blood on the door jamb, and he wasn't leaned on the door according to what you just said, and according to the photos that they showed, right? He was moving forward.
Head touching
and wasn't leaned on the door.
Nope.
Because that's how I would have got on the door jamb. So he was leaning toward the dash. Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That does not make sense.
Not
He
at
had
all.
to be taken out of the car and then put back in.
Right.
Or he wasn't ever in the car and then put in the car.
Put in the car. Exactly. That was my Yep.
Yeah. I agree with you there. I'm having a little technical difficulties, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, let me ask you this. I know this is a little hard, and some of the questions, I'm skipping through some of my questions purpose. How does the small amount of blood and the seed contradict the official story? Break that down a bit.
Because if somebody shoots themselves with an AR-15, first of all, none of it matched up. But you shoot yourself at close range with an AR-15 inside of a car, you're gonna lose an ample amount of blood. It's gonna be liters of blood, and he pretty much bled out. So the amount of blood that he lost, it is not equivalent to that's found in that car.
That's right. That's a small amount of blood.
Right. It's only a small amount of blood in that car, but you want to say he killed himself and he sat there for days? No. That seat would have been covered with blood. The bottom of the floor would have been covered with blood. Blood would have been dripping off the seat to the floor.
So what did the placement of KJ's credit card and debit card suggest?
KJ's credit card and debit card was found on the passenger floorboard. Just like it was thrown out of his wallet. KJ ain't gonna throw none of his cards out of his wallet. Now that was the only thing Lawrence County did give me, his wallet. And inside of his wallet was his driver's license and birth certificate. The only two things. I'm like, first of all, this is another thing. KJ had $20,000 in his armrest. I personally counted his money November the 29th. I went outside to move his car. And he always keep money all on his floor and everything. I'm like, KJ, put this money in the bank. Why do you have this money in your car? Mom, I like to count my money, Mom. Chill. He always say that bro word. I can't stand it, but he'll say, bro, chill, bro. I got my money, Mom. That's me. I don't want nobody telling me how much I can keep in the bank and all this. I'm my own bank, Mom. Okay. He never put his money in the bank, but November 29th, I counted $20,000 in that armrest. I asked the police, where's his money? Where's all his money? Oh, it wasn't a dime found on him. He didn't have any money. So you mean to tell me this black man gonna kill himself and throw away $20,000? Come on now, make it make sense.
Yeah. What did the PI identify? Well, not what did. Did the PI identify anything that should have required further investigation by law enforcement? And if so, what was they?
The first thing they said was when we both examined the car or whatever, he was like, do KJ drink it was like different bottles inside of the car. It was Gatorade bottles and all that. That's the first question he asked. KJ drank all this. I said, no. KJ only drank water. And all of his friends, closest friends and all that, no, he took care of himself. Yeah. KJ ain't finna go out here and shoot and kill it. He took care of himself. He thought highly of himself. He was never conceited, but he thought highly of himself to where he took care of himself and his well-being. He only drank water. And it was multiple small Gatorade bottles in the car, on the driver's side, stuck in between the seat, on the driver's side, on the passenger side. and how dirty the car was with everything thrown everywhere. KJ, when he kept his car spotless, like I said, he would pay almost $200 a month to get his car detailed. So you mean to tell he gonna kill himself and mess his car when he just 2 weeks prior had that car detailed like that? No. You had wires from where he had his speaker system, all that just like jaking down, taken out. Stuff just ripped out. KJ would never.
Yeah.
Why would he destroy his own property that he's paid thousands of dollars to have put in his car?
Let's go back to the recording for a second.
Okay.
Why do you think they pushed that away so quickly?
Now that I have no idea. I just think they wanted to, because immediately, this is another thing. Everybody start hearing Clinton start reaching out to different reporters. Why isn't KJ death been put on the news? Why ain't nobody talking about KJ's death? One reporter, one well-known reporter, whose name is Cody Alcorn, he responded back to one of KJ's friends stating, and this is December the 3rd, just 2 days after KJ, day after KJ was found. I'm sorry, December the 3rd, because KJ was found December the 2nd. Cody stated in a message response saying, well, Lawrence County Sheriff Department has ruled his death suicide. So to respect the family, we don't cover stories like that. And the whole time they had me thinking they was investigating, but immediately they closed this case. Why? I don't have, well, I have an idea, but why then? I didn't understand why then. You know, why close it when you're lying to me like you're investigating it?
You care to share with the people what your idea was?
Yeah, they was trying to cover up for that ex-girlfriend. I don't really think they cared too much about those little dumb ignorant boys, you know, who's been in and out of jail constantly all their lives. They was trying to cover up for her to keep her safe. Because if they go down, she's going down with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. The thing that makes this really sad is that because they're not willing to reinvestigate, no one will ever know what really happened to KJ. And that's the sad part about it. So we need people to speak up and speak out about this injustice, because his story needs to be told and we need answers.
Exactly.
What really happened to him? You know, what really happened to KJ?
And here's the thing, Tig. I'm sorry to interrupt, but back in August, I tried to reach out to the FBI. I started a petition to get the FBI involved. Well, that petition went viral as well. And so the Clinton Chronicle here did an article of KJ. This was August the 19th. The newspaper was published for a call of justice for KJ. The day that newspaper was published, I received a threatening text message, basically telling me, hey, you need to keep your mouth closed. That's why your son is deceased. Well, they didn't say deceased. That's why your son is dead. Now, you could tell it was an illiterate child or person that done it, but that's why your son is dead now. Keep your mouth closed. Now, if he killed himself, why am I receiving threatening text messages?
Yeah.
When I'm trying to, you know, reach out, call for justice or whatever, why am I now receiving threatening text messages when KJ so-called killed himself?
Yeah. That lets you know that he was murdered.
Right.
And people don't want the evidence to be revealed.
Right.
Because whoever knows what's going on, they'll be booked.
Right.
So, yeah. What stood out to you the most about how they presented their evidence?
How Lawrence County presented it?
Yes. What stood out the most?
That picture they showed me of KJ. That was just so screaming, okay, I was placed here, Mom. Look. And they tried to show it to me so fast. And I said, no, go back to that picture. Let me look. It was like KJ was sitting there talking to me. Mom, look at this. Mom, look at that. Don't let him go so fast. Ma, look at how they got my hand, Ma. It's like my baby was sitting there talking to me. And I was dissecting that picture left to right. I made him leave it up because he was trying to show him to me so fast within seconds. I made him leave that picture up for a good 30 minutes until I got finished looking at it.
Tootie, we're going to take a break.
Okay.
We're going to take a quick break. And after that, we'll be right back. Folks, this is the podcast with Tigmatic. I'm sitting here with Tootie McGowan, and we're talking about the death of her son, KJ. But folks, we'll be right back. And as always, this episode is brought to you by Hollywood TV, and we'll be back, folks. So sit tight.
If I kept a penny from every time you told a lie, I'd be rich. If there were no sunlight to wake me up in the morning and I miss my day, you'd be the one to blame. I spend almost every day with you and still feel lonely. Boy, I cook for you, clean up, rearrange the room, dressed up. You don't even notice. Feeling like you're always just a beat behind my heart. You never seem to pick up the pace. Am I just imagining you and I've never been? Don't tell me this is all in my head. I'm in love alone. I feel I'm in this thing on my own. You're standing right there, but you're oh so gone. Facing the fact I'm in love alone. In love alone. If I kept a teardrop every time you made me cry, who'd survive? It seems like every day you're back and forth, you're in and out, we're going down. Love shouldn't be this way. My mind's playing tricks on me, writing scripts and shit, telling my heart don't believe what my conscience said. These ain't good butterflies, I'm angry, got me all anxious. I know I've wasted my time being patient. I'm feeling like you're always just a beat behind my heart. You never seem to pick up the pace. Am I just imagining you and I've never been? Don't tell me this is all in my head. I'm in love alone. I feel I'm in this thing on my own. You're standing right there, but you're oh so gone. Facing the fact I'm in love alone. In love alone. This is fool for you. Damn, I've been a fool so long. Felt you slip, band-aided it, then kept moving on. Mrs. Fool for you. Damn, I've been a fool so long. Felt you slip, band-aided it, then kept moving on. I'm in love alone. I feel I'm in this thing on my own. You're standing right there, but you're oh so gone. that you're oh so gone. Facing the fact I'm in love alone, in love alone.
All right, folks, we're back. Welcome back to the pod. It's the host, Tigmatic. We here. All right, I'm sitting here with Tootie McGowan, and we're going to finish having this conversation about her son. So, let's talk a bit more where we left off about the article. How did you feel? Like, what did that moment feel like for you when this person sent you, that threatening text? Like, what were your thoughts initially, and how did you handle it?
It lit a fire in me, for someone to say, okay, you better keep your mouth closed, that's why he's dead now. To whoever sent it out to me, you only put more fire behind my fuel. Like, I'm not going to keep quiet. That's my baby. Right. I'm going to forever keep fighting for him. But I went straight to the police with that text message to show them, okay, you saying he's killed himself. Why am I receiving these threatening text messages now? Right. The only thing they did was say, hey, okay, let us do an incident report. If you get any more of these, and if somebody comes knocking at your door, let us know. That's all I got from that.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
But you want to say he killed himself.
Yeah, that's proof enough.
Right.
Proof enough that something is trying to be hidden.
Exactly.
So, what scared you more, the threat itself or the fact that it came after telling the truth publicly?
You said say that again?
What scared you more, the fact that it came out or the fact it came after telling the truth publicly?
It came after telling the truth publicly, Like everything started happening. Like once that petition went viral, and then the chief editor here did that newspaper thing, and then boom, I get a message. I mean, a threatening text message. That right there was just it for me.
Did it change how you move, how you protect yourself, and how you advocate?
Oh yeah.
In what way?
In what way? To where I put more security around my house, and I put more security on each and every last one of my babies, because I don't want nothing else to happen to none of my kids. But I made sure I had more security everywhere surrounding all of us.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to dig into the deep part of it. And thank you. Matter of fact, let me make sure you can see me. I'm sorry. I want to say thank you for coming on here and telling your story.
Oh yes, thank you for having me, Tig. I appreciate it.
Hey, listen, if we can do this more than once, I'll be happy to do it.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so this thing is acting a little nutty today, y'all. Bear with me, folks. I don't know. I might not be echoing on y'all end, but for me, I'm getting feedback and don't know why.
You sound good on my end, Tig.
Yeah, so I'm starting to realize when I'm doing justice families or fighting for some injustice, this starts to happen. And I'm saying this vocally, publicly. Stop messing with me, because I'm going to keep exposing you.
Right.
Straight like that. All right. So, as a mother, how do you wake up every day carrying this fight and pain?
At first, I was a little down. I didn't know which way I was going to turn. But I had a dream of KJ. I had that dream of KJ saying, Mom, don't give up.
Yeah.
Mom, don't stop. It was like he was in the room with me. And he said, Mom, I got you. I got you, Mom. I'm here with you. I'm so sorry. But ever since my baby came to me and told me, don't give up, I made a vow to KJ. As long as God give me breath, I'm going to forever fight for you, KJ.
That's right.
I'm going to forever fight for her. My kids, Tig, are my world. My babies are my everything. And everybody that knows me know how much I care. Not only my babies, everybody, baby. I love children. But my own are my everything. They're all I have.
Yeah.
And I made a vow to KJ, as long as God give me breath, I'm going to forever fight until I get that justice for him. No matter what's wrong with the way, what rock I got to climb, I'm going to climb it until I reach it to get that justice for him.
That's right. As you should.
Yep.
Don't ever stop fighting for your baby.
Oh, yeah.
You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I know this is hard for you, and my heart goes out to you because it's hard to lose a child. And to all the families out there that lost their loved ones by police brutality, by someone in these streets, I can't imagine what that's like. But I pray for you. And ever since I met you, I've been praying for you.
And I appreciate
So I want you to know that. Right. So what does grief look like for you on a daily basis?
It used to be hard, but I turned myself around and I turned to God. Without him, I wouldn't be right here today, you know, like for 8 months, I was in a place that I couldn't move. For 8 months, I didn't come out the room. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. My 6-year-old at the time, she come in the room and she said, Mom, you got to get up. Mom, you got to move. Mom, I'm here to help you. Ava come in there and she held my hand. And she said, Mom, it's going to be okay. So at that very moment, Tig, I knew I couldn't stay down forever because I had the other 4 here. At the time, I only had 4 more. Mm-hmm. And I knew I had to get up out that bed for Ava, not only for Ava, but for the rest of them. Yeah. Grief was hard. Grief was hard at the beginning. But as I give myself to the Lord and I talk to God every day, I know he's with me every step of the way.
Yes, he is.
And I know he's here carrying my hand, and I know he's walking this road with me. So grief has gotten a little better, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know when. I know I'll never get over it, but the road is getting a little clearer. I'm getting a little better. I got a newborn baby now. She's only 3 months old, and I think she was a blessing from KJ because, like I say, 8 months I was about to hit rock bottom, and my son didn't want that for me. That's right. I was on medication. I was on depression medicine and everything, and KJ said, Mom, no, you ain't never took no kind of pill, so this is not what we're doing right here.
Have you done therapy?
I did. I did therapy for a whole year.
Okay. Yep. You still currently in therapy?
No, like when I got pregnant, when I had my baby, all of that changed. It's like a cloud come over me, and I was happy, you know, and I started feeling better and all because I got off the medicine or whatever, and I just started feeling better, and the fight got stronger with me for KJ. Yeah.
And God can do that. God does that, you know. So I'm thankful that, you know, you're finding some healing.
Oh yeah.
Along this tragedy, because it's very hard and it's a very long walk. Because, like you said, it never goes away. It never goes away. So continue to keep your faith in God and stay strong through it all. You're a very strong woman. I can see that.
I'm trying.
I can see that. You're a very strong woman, and I think you're awesome for being here today, telling your story.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Have you had moments when you felt like the world was gaslighting your truth?
Yes.
How do you handle it?
Again, I just pray. I just give everything to God, because what he say, vengeance is his, everything, I put it all in his hand. I just did.
That's right.
And I always try to stay positive, because I don't want my babies to see me down. I don't want them to get depressed. So I try to stay uplifted and positive while, I'm here with them every day.
What does accountability look like for the people involved in your son's case?
I say life. Accountability would be life for each and every last person that had a hand in my son leaving here. You took his life away. So you should spend the rest of yours behind bars without the possibility of parole. I don't wish death on nobody. I'm not that type of person, but I would love to see each person be held accountable and get life in prison without the possibility of parole. To save their lives
justice served. That's right.
Yes. From the one who called him out, to the one who helped hide his body, to the one who helped try to cover it up, to the mother who tried to get one of your children's out. I know about that too, and she think I don't know about it. But to the mother who tried to have an alibi for him, you too should face justice. You too should be held as an accessory after the fact.
That's right. So although you have help and support, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you manage the emotional battle of fighting systems bigger than you?
To all of who? Say that again. You said to all of who now?
I said, although that you have help and support, how do you manage the emotional battle of fighting systems bigger than you?
By praying. I'm telling you, I just stay prayed up. I do. I stay prayed up.
I think a lot of the times the justice system gets it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes they just want to throw things under the rug and just be done with it. So they don't really have to investigate. They don't really have to do the work. But in this case, there should have been more due diligence. From the moment that it was ruled a homicide, there should have been more extensive legwork being done on that end. And I hope you agree with me there, but I know you do. But I feel as though they let it go too quickly.
They did. One more thing, Tig, I forgot to mention. When I hired the private investigator, he told me to call the lead investigator to get the initial police report. I did that December the 18th. This was 16 days after KJ was found deceased. I called and asked for the initial police report. The lead investigator sent me that police report through email. Then he immediately called me and said, "Hey, I sent you the wrong thing. Could you delete that file for me?" I never deleted it. That initial police report stated homicide. So I called a friend of mine who was a police officer at the time. I said, "Hey, when is a police report written? When do y'all write the police report, or incident report or whatever?" And she clearly stated, incident report is written after we've collected all the evidence, and we go back to the office and we've collected all the evidence, and we sit down and we write that incident report. So their very first initial thought when they left that crime scene was homicide. Why was it changed? Your guess is good as mine.
Yeah, I just still believe that however they rule that, when we're smart enough, and that's just from little small stuff, right? Just knowing common sense, right?
Exactly.
Blood splatter, things of that nature, positioning, all of these things don't make sense.
None of it.
So when you think of it, for them to have the obvious right in front of their faces, but they don't act on what's right there. Definitely smells like a cover up, or they just wanted to be done with it real quick.
I think
and they do that to a lot of our black boys out there.
Right. Like I said, so many happen. It's happened to so many here in Clinton. And it's like, I'm just gonna be honest. They don't care about little black boys here in Clinton. To me, they don't care about the well-being. They don't even care about the family, none of that. Because if they did, they would have did their jobs.
Yeah.
Like, it's so many. My neighbor, my family, right? Like I say, Freddie Bird, his family, this young man was gunned down from behind. And nothing happened. They said that this young man, Zay Hurley, shot himself, in which everybody who knew him knew he was just like KJ, a happy child. I mean, loved himself. Why would he kill himself? Come on.
You know, it's a lot of that going on.
Yep.
It's a lot of that going on. And it's a shame that it's like that. But I think that you need more cops that care.
That's what we need here in Lawrence County. You hit that on the head. Cops that actually care. Yep.
Bridget said they really don't care.
And they don't. She's absolutely right. They don't care. Not here. We live in this little sundown town to where I can remember back in the early 90s, we had this KKK shop up in Lawrence where they actually marched around, displayed KKK items up in the window. We had that for many years. And that still exists today here in Lawrence County. Sad to say, but it's true.
So how has life been for you? Have you been able to eat, sleep, and function?
Not very well. Not very well.
I can imagine.
And being that the holidays are coming up, you know, it gets even harder. But I try to stay strong and I try to keep it together because I have my other babies here.
Yeah, that's a hard thing, and that's something that I'm literally going through, so I can relate.
Yeah.
You know, I just went through my first Thanksgiving without my mom. My mom, we're from Philadelphia. My mom moved down to North Carolina with me. We only had a few years together before she left, but this is the first Thanksgiving. This will be the first Christmas. So it doesn't get easy at all.
No, and my condolences to you on that, Ted.
Thank you. You know, I just try to work through it and do what I'm doing here, help others, because that's what she was wanting me to do. You know, all right. When did you realize you weren't just grieving, you were also battling trauma, betrayal, and injustice?
The day I called SLED. The day I called SLED. And that's when I knew it wasn't just, you know, happening, that nothing, you know, I can't talk. I'm stumbling over my words. Lord, forgive me.
Take your time.
That's when I knew, you know, the day I called SLED, everything was going wrong. All the trust I had in Lawrence County, they lost it all that day. And that's when the grief got harder, you know, because I gave my trust in them, you know, and they was lying the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is just showing you not only that you live, what you just described is a sundown town.
Oh yeah.
Right? And this is where in South Carolina? Clayton, South Carolina?
Clinton, like President Bill
Clinton. Okay, Clinton.
Yep. Lawrence County.
North Carolina.
Clinton, South Carolina.
Oh, Clinton, South Carolina. I'm sorry. I'm in North Carolina somehow.
It's here in Lawrence County.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So sundown towns. We have those here in North Carolina too. You won't catch me in none of them. But this really sounds like racially motivated to where they just didn't want to care about what really happened.
Exactly.
You know, and if it was a white person, I'm gonna just say it like it is. If it was a white person, they would have did their full due diligence. Full due diligence. I'm sorry.
If it was one of the sheriff officers' nephew or cousin or brother, trusted believer, they would have been caught that morning.
They would not have stopped until they found the killer.
Exactly.
You can guarantee that.
Yep.
You definitely can guarantee that if it was a little white boy, they would have did what they needed to do to get all of the information. They would have left no corner unturned or not looked at. They would have made sure they did everything they had to.
Yeah.
So when it comes to this,
I can say it's certain white people, I guess, who they would do
I'm
it.
not saying all of them.
No, because
I'm just
this
saying.
named Cadence.
Yeah.
His brother was also fighting for justice for him. His killer is also walking free. So I must say that for her in her defense. I mean, yes, it's just who they care about, who they want to do it for.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't mean all white people, so let's be clear.
Yeah, let's be clear.
Let's be clear.
All right.
I don't mean all white people. But you know, for a sundown town is my point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
Because that's why they were named sundown towns. Because it was racially motivated, right?
Right.
So I think that for them to not really investigate properly made things harder, not just for your family, and but for you mostly because you'll never get the answers that you deserve.
Right.
How do you protect your mental health when the people responsible for his death
I try to ignore them. You know, like for
treat you
instance,
like a problem?
huh?
I said, how do you protect your mental health when the people responsible for investigating your son's death treat you like a problem?
At first I was angry and I wanted to retaliate. I wanted to do all kind of crazy, but I knew at the end of the day, okay, I couldn't overreact. I couldn't do something to get jeopardize my freedom, you know, because I'm all my kids have. So I couldn't retaliate against the sheriff office. I couldn't retaliate against the lead investigator. I had to keep it calm, and I had to stay calm for my children. And I had to play it smart. I got to fight them the legal way, you know. I couldn't overreact and go out here and do anything crazy. Because like I said, I'm all my kids have. So I got to do things the legal way.
Yeah. Okay. What keeps you going when the pain gets heavy?
Thinking of KJ. And seeing him that night in my dream saying, Mama, don't give up. Mama, keep fighting.
That's right.
KJ is what keeps me going.
What do you think KJ would say about his mom and how she's fighting for him?
I'm going to tell you, he got robbed 2 months prior to him being killed. As soon as I made it to KJ, the first thing he said, Mom, he cursed. He said, God damn, I wish you was here. Because we would have whooped all of them ass. I said, boy, I don't know how you know it, but we sure would have. But he thought that of me, you know? I'm always, because he knew I've always had his back. He knew I'm always going to be there for him, you know? He know I never let him down.
Bridget Clark says, in this town, they don't care nothing about the Black community. All they investigate is when it comes to drugs. When it comes to us, it's drugs. They only want to lock our Black men up. If they're not locking us up, and investigating us.
She's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
She's absolutely right.
I
They don't
think that's something that really needs to change and evolve.
Yes. Yes.
You know, police profiling is the thing that they've always done because police were originally created to be slave catchers.
Right.
We know the history. This is why Black people are the ones that are predominantly stopped the most.
Yeah.
You know, I pray for a day that changes and it gets better for us.
Yes.
Or we begin to police our own communities like it was, you know, in the 60s, 70s.
Right.
We need that unity to come back. It never really left because it's here. This is community right now. You know, and there's a shift. There's a big shift. Dr. Melina Abdullah and I, we were talking about that Monday. There's a shift coming to where community is going to be a big force in this world. Solo Dolo King for you. What do you hope lawmakers or outside investigators will do with your evidence?
I pray the FBI or somebody looks into what I've shown them. I mean, in SLED, I did take everything to SLED. Let me go back and say that. I did reach out to SLED. This is a week after talking to the private investigator. We showed SLED what we have. What we have, we showed everything to SLED. And SLED simply, I have her on recording. Her name was Lieutenant Wallace. She stated, I agree with Lawrence County. Although you have camera footage of your child leaving the house on a so-called certain day, your cameras must have had glitches in it. They said the girlfriend said that he killed himself on the 29th. That's what happened. We suggest you let it go and let him rest in peace. This is from SLED.
The camera glitched.
Right.
They saw what happened. That's what that sounded like to me.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want the world to know about KJ that the investigation ignored?
I want the world to know that KJ would have never killed himself. They ignored the fact. And when I asked them to test his hand for gun residue, they told me they no longer had to do that in the state of South Carolina. I want the world to know the neglect they did over his death. How they treated me as his mother. They treated me as if I wasn't his mama. He wasn't my baby, as if his life never mattered. He didn't exist.
Yeah.
I want the world to know how Lawrence County is here today. I don't want another mother have to endure the pain, the hurt, the turmoil that I've been through with dealing with all of this. I don't want no other parent to have to go through none of this.
Yeah. I'm sorry you had to go through this, Tootie. And like I said earlier, you know, I wish we would have met on better circumstances. But I'm glad we did because you get to tell your baby story.
Right.
And it needs to be heard.
Yes.
Are there organizations helping you to push this fight?
Yes.
Or has it mostly been you alone? And if so, you can tell the world.
Yeah, the president of the NAACP here, he has been helping me. Reverend David Kennedy, he has been helping me push this fight, and also a few attorneys that I don't want to list their names right now, but they've also helped. And a private investigator that I hired, she has been helpful since day one.
And also, Black Lives Matter Grassroots North Carolina.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you to all the people. Thank all the people. I'm sorry. Thank all the people that has helped you. If they're watching, thank y'all for helping Tootie and supporting Tootie. She needs it. You know, that's awesome that you had the help along the way and the support along the way. And I'm gonna continue to help, and I'm gonna be pushing this thing and flipping it up, and I'm gonna send some stuff to you. I got you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Happy to help. All right. What kind of support do you need from the public?
I need them to keep fighting with me. You know, keep fighting with me, and also keep sending up prayers for me. You know, I appreciate everything, but let's keep fighting. Not only for KJ, for all of us here in Lawrence County. Like I say, I don't want this to happen to nobody else. There needs to be a change here in Lawrence County.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. If someone listening today wants to help, how can they?
They can help by reaching out to, well, SLED, they ain't gonna do it. I reached out to SLED so many times. Let's get the FBI involved. That petition I got going around, let's keep pushing it. Let's get the FBI involved.
So if you want, you can shout out the petition. You want to do that?
Yes.
All right, Solo, there you go. Floor is yours.
The petition I have going around is for to get a lot of signatures to get SLED involved. If you can, please share the petition as much as you can. You do not have to donate on that petition, for I don't receive any donations on that, but please share it as many times as you can.
Okay, where can they find it?
They can find it on change.org.
And what's the name of it?
It says Fight for Justice, and it has my name, A Mother's Fight for Justice.
Okay.
I don't have it here to display it, Tig, but I have sent it out to multiple people. If you all still have that link I sent out, please
Say it again.
I sent it out to multiple people, and it was going viral throughout Facebook. Keep sharing it.
You said change.org?
It's on change.org.
A fight? What is it called? A fight for mothers?
A Mother's Fight for Justice. I think that's what it says. And it has a picture of me and KJ on it. And it has my name, Tootie McGowan.
Okay.
And also, my private investigator started a GoFundMe. If you want to donate to that, that's for legal fees.
Change.org. Mothers Fight for Justice.
There
y'all go. Y'all see that, right? Boom. I actually want to. Hold on. I think this just slide. Give me a second. I'm trying to get this right. I'm sorry. Oh, it's not working. Here we go. I got it. Boom. Boom. There we go. That's much better. So y'all can go on change.org and go on there, sign, share as much as you can. And the GoFundMe, what's the GoFundMe?
I forgot what name. I think it was under, I think she did it under my name. I'm not sure because I haven't seen it in a while. But it also has a picture of KJ and I on that as well.
Okay. There you go. So now we got them all. So, folks, help out. Pitch in. Do your part. Show Tootie some love, yo. All right. We got a few minutes. A few more questions, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If KJ was standing here right now, what would you say to him?
I love you. I tell my kids every day I love them. And I would give him the biggest hug I could. He wouldn't want me to, but I always kiss on him. But he always said, Mom, quit, Mom, grown. I would kiss him so hard right now.
Yeah. Well, my next question would be, and what do you think he would say to you?
Mom, cut it out. I'm grown. He'd always say that. Mom, chill, bro. Mom, chill, bro. I told you, Tig, he thought he was my dad.
What did motherhood teach you before tragedy forced you into this fight for justice?
Before tragedy, what it taught me was to always, love and respect and be kind to everybody. I mean, being a mother, when I first became a mother with KJ, I saw life different. I had this precious little fat, chunky baby in my arms. And I just saw life different. It taught me how to love someone dearly,
Yeah. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome, Mama, to even still fight for him, even in death. I think that's awesome. I say this all the time, and I've said it to you on the phone, and I'm going to say it to you again. To be absent in the body is to be with the Lord.
Amen.
With the Lord.
Yes.
So what were some of KJ's dreams or plans for his future?
He wanted to join the military. His plans was joining the Air Force. We had went and taken the test the beginning of 2023. He had to go back again so he didn't want to join the Army. He didn't want to join the Marines. His thing was the Air Force. He wanted to get in the Air Force so bad. So he had to go back and retake the test, but he never got a chance to.
Okay. Sound like you had his head on straight.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. And last and final question. What did KJ love the most? And what brought him joy?
Seeing me happy. He loved his mama. And to see me happy, that brought KJ joy more than anything. Because the day he was robbed, and I was like I said, he was robbed 2 months prior to him being killed. I was so upset. He couldn't stand it. He kept saying, Mama, I'm okay. Mama, I'm okay. Calm down, calm down. I was more upset than he was. And that's the first I actually see him really cry. Mom, please stop. I'm okay. He was more concerned about my well-being and my feelings than him just had a gun held to his head.
Yeah. Sound like a stand-up son to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. If there's one thing life had taught you, what is that and why?
Never give up. Never give up.
Care to elaborate?
No.
Just say straight like that, man.
Straight like that,
just don't give up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like your positive spirit, and I like that you know, through it all, you seem in a good place. Although this has happened to you and it's a tragic thing,
Yeah,
your
I've come a
spirit
long
is
way.
broken.
Mm-mm.
I think that's amazing. That's true resilience.
I'm a firm believer in my God, and like I said, I know He has me covered.
That's right.
He's brought me a long way, Tig.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love your resilience, and I definitely thank you for coming on here today.
Thank you for having me. Like I said,
is there anything else you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
I just want to say, keep praying for me. Keep praying. God hear all of us. Something's gonna happen. Keep praying for me. Yeah. If you can't sign that petition, don't worry about that. Just keep praying for me, and we're gonna be okay.
That's right, folks. Go on change.org. A Mother's Fight for Justice. Tootie McGowan. GoFundMe.com. Tootie McGowan. And listen, I'm definitely going to share as well, and I'm going to put it all over my social medias as well. Y'all know how I do this. And listen, I pray that you get the justice
Thank you
that
so
you
much.
deserve, because to take your son's life is just crazy. But to never get the answers you need,
Right.
that's going to linger until it's solved.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt. So I understand. And it still hurts.
Yes.
And like I said, my heart goes out to you. And anytime you need me, hit me up.
Thank you, Tig. I appreciate it.
Anytime you need me, yo, Tig, listen, I'm going through it, Tig. Or such and such just happened. I'm one of the ones. I'll listen. I'm a listening ear. I do that for all my folks. I care about people. That's who I am and how I'm wired.
Thank
you. Can't stop being that way. So I will be checking up on you when you get the phantom text like, hey, you good?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All day, all day. All right. So you hold on in the background and I'm gonna close the show out, okay?
Okay.
Don't hang up.
All right.
All right. Folks, I hope and pray that y'all learned something about Tootie's son and how this injustice is still carrying on in this wretched place we call America, where evidence can be right here and they don't follow the evidence. Personally, I took this story because it's something that speaks volumes when police try to hide what they know they see. And in a lot of cases, this happens on a daily basis. And people don't get to tell the story the way it should have been told. I feel Tootie did that today. I feel she came on here with strength, resilience, with love, and she expressed herself in a way that only a mother could, who's lost their son, who she loved very much, who was full of life, who was vibrant, and who cared for others, as she explained. So, people, if you can, go on change.org. Go to her GoFundMe. I'm sorry, I'm tongue twisted today, y'all. My mouth is dry. Go on her GoFundMe, change.org, and show love. Show love, y'all. Share the petition. Share her story. Let the masses know about what's going on in Clinton. You know, these sundown towns don't care about people. They're called sundown towns for a reason. If you don't know the history of sundown towns, get acclimated with it. Go on YouTube, type in sundown towns. They still exist. And they don't hide. They're in plain sight. So, folks, I'm going to sign off by saying, continue to fight injustice, continue to love, continue to care for others. And I'm also going to say, who got the power? We got the power. Black Lives Matter grassroots is Black Lives Matter. And I want to say thank you to my guest, Tootie McGowan. And thank y'all for watching. Thank you for those that support Tootie. All of y'all, I appreciate y'all for watching today as well. Type where y'all from. I shout y'all out while we can in a quick second if you choose to. Shout where y'all from. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for supporting Tootie. I don't want to say these names right, but Tisha Williams, Benny, Anisha Wesley, thank y'all for watching. Bridget Clark, thank y'all for watching. And thank y'all for supporting Tootie. As always, this episode was brought to you by Hollywood TV, Hollywood Radio, Dollar Radio, Going In Radio, DemoniBrand.com, and NorthShadeDemoraBoutique.com. I am your host, Tigmatic. Until next time, peace, love, and Jesus Christ. That's all I'm going to say. Straight like that. Until next time, folks.
What's up, y'all? Tune into the Pop Podcast with Tigmatic.
Radio for the Pop Podcast with your boy Tigmatic. Interview.
Pop Podcast, stirring the pot.
So tune into the Pop Podcast with Tigmatic on Hollywood TV.
Tune in to the Pop Podcast, my boy Tigmatic.
And Going In Radio. You might get some good music and some knowledge.